A warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Dstv Premiership action as Stellenbosch take on Orlando Pirates. So, coming up into this encounter, then both teams did play to draws respectively, with Stellenbosch playing to a 2-2 draw against AmaZulu, and then Orlando Pirates traveling away to Golden Arrows where they played to a scoreless draw. However, coming up into this encounter then, the red team will represent Stellenbosch, the blue team will then represent Orlando Pirates. So, when we have a look then at the red team, which is Stellenbosch do favor a 3-4-3. However, they can also go with a 4-2-3-1 whenever they do look to play with Judas Musiamedi up front. But the formation then that they found much joy with from a tactical and technical approach is the 3-4-3. So in goals then, they've got Sage Stevens, a goalkeeper then who is a good shot stopper and also very comfortable on the ball. So whenever they want to institute build-up action and look to play out from the back, Sage Stevens would then be looking to initiate because he is a goalkeeper then who is comfortable on the ball. Having a look then at their back three, you've got Mntambo as the left-sided centre-back, and then you've got Uzita Macheke, who plays in between Mntambo and Alan Robertson. But the key man then to point out within this defensive structure is Uzita Macheke. I've been thoroughly impressed with his performances throughout the season. I think he's been one of Stellenbosch's best players, and the great duality and ability that he brings to the Stellenbosch side is that A, he adds an extra defensive line. So whenever then you do play with a back three, the fortitude that does come with a back three is that the centre-back who plays within the middle can always then be the one to track those runs which are made just in behind the left-sided centre-back and the right-sided centre-back. And the other side of the coin then is that he does then often step up into midfield. And from a defensive perspective, he's been very, very solid. Moving on then right along, when you have a look at the left wing back, you've got Van Heerden, a player who is very, very experienced and has got great technical ability from vertical zone one, while adept at delivering those deep crosses with that beautiful left foot of his, which is like a wand, and very good at set pieces as well, where he could look to trouble this Orlando Pirates side. On the right-hand side, we've got Van Rooyen, very quick wing back who's also very comfortable on the ball. At times then he does penetrate into the final third, as earlier on in the season he did break into the final third and found himself in the box, and he finished very well for the goal that he has during this season. So this is then a right wing back who's a lot more advanced and a lot more progressive than his fellow wing back in Van Heerden. So with Van Rooyen, at times he will push up a lot more. He can also then deliver those balls into the box. But most importantly then, he's very, very strong and he's very quick. And he also then is very well adept at dealing with the 1v1 situation. When we have a look then at the midfield two, you've got Jabba, you've got Sinkala. So very solid midfield two. However, most notably then with Sinkala, he is a player then who looks to institute that creative play for the Stellenbosch side from deep pockets. He will then at times look to get the ball from those deep pockets and look to progress that ball into this front three. And who are these front three players that he's looking for? So you've got a fluid flowing front three, which then love to institute positional and rotational play by virtue of the fact that they do tend to drift into different pockets of spaces. So you've got Mendieta, you've got Du Preez, and you've got Dingba. So with Du Preez, he is then the one who tends to keep the central role a lot more. Mendieta does look then to drop into the half space where he can institute that creative play. And then you've got Dingba as well, who then tends to like to come from the right-hand side, being vertical zone 5. Whenever then Van Rooyen is in a deep pocket of space, then he will be able to drift out wide, take his man one-on-one, or whenever Van Rooyen does offer that width, then Dingba can come into the half space as well. A very tricky, very creative player. And what I like then about this front three, very fluid and very creative and very quick as well. These three players then can cause so much trouble for this Orlando Pirates back line. And when you have a look at it then, within the front three, all three of these players have scored goals during this season. So they are very, very dangerous. Mendieta is the one then who does enjoy the much more creative responsibility. Dingba then is the one then who likes then to use his skill and look to penetrate into the final third. Du Preez then being the one then to look to get those goals for this Stellenbosch side. Of course, then being Du Preez and Mendieta and Du Preez being then the two who are key for this Stellenbosch side. And then players then who could always come off the bench and look to make an impact for this Stellenbosch side. You've got Judas Musiamedi, which then you would see a tweak in formation. You'd see him as going as the main number 9 up front as the box striker. You've got Kunyedu, who's a very quick player as well. You've got Adams, who can come into the heart of midfield. So Stellenbosch then do have good players who can come off the bench and make an impact. When we have a look then at Orlando Pirates, they do institute a similar game model from a formational and tactical perspective. So with them, it is a 3-4-2-1. So when you have a look at their 3-4-2-1, you've got Mpontjane in goals. As the back three, you would have Olisanda, Nyauza, and then Pasegamako. And coming then into the heart of midfield, the last time out, they started with Mabaso and Makaringe. However, Mabaso is a player who has accumulated 4 yellow cards, so he does then miss the next game. So within the heart of midfield, I would like to think that Munare comes alongside Makaringe. However, I just feel that Zungu is dearly needed for this Orlando Pirates side, especially considering how good then he is at manipulating the ball in deep pockets of spaces for this Orlando Pirates side. And he's also then a player then who can find that penetrative pass from deep, progress the ball very well from deep pockets of spaces and work it then into the final third. Orlando Pirates have lacked a bit of that from a midfield perspective, but I do think it will be Makaringe and Munare starting within the heart of midfield. As the right wing back, you've got Bandile Shandu. Although with Bandile Shandu, I just feel that he lacks when it comes then to the final third, when it comes to delivering that ball. I think Wade Euster would be a much better fit as a right wing back for this Orlando Pirates side. And yeah, very interesting then how he keeps playing for this Orlando Pirates side when I think that Wade Euster could give this Orlando Pirates side a lot more. But most likely Bandile Shandu. Off the left-hand side, you've got Hotto, who is then a player then who can offer so much for the Orlando Pirates side, but in the past few weeks hasn't really been performing very well. I think he needs to step up his game, and because he is one of their best players within this lineup, so I would like to see a lot more of him then influencing the game a lot more. And what I then like about him is that he has a different dynamic, that he's also good then from set pieces. We did see him score one against the Stellenbosch side early on in the season. He hit the top bar against Golden Arrows. So he is then a player who can make an impact from those set pieces. But even in open play, then he should be looking to make an impact for this Orlando Pirates side. When we have then a look at the two number 10s, you've got Mntambo and you've got Mahaha, who started out the last time. But I think a better number 10 who should start when you look at this game model, I think when you've got Mntambo in that half space, the right side of the half space, and then you've got Lamini. I think then this is a better pair of number 10s than having Umahaha starting as the other number 10 or Chukamanja. I think Kabelo Dlamini would give this Orlando Pirates side presence within the tight pockets of spaces, within the two half spaces, within zone 14, and he's also then got an eye for goal with regards to how direct it can be when he looks then to have a shot at goal. He did score a beautiful goal against Sekukune. I think he's just better as a numbers 10 in comparison to a Juka Manja and a Mahacha as well. And then up front, I just think that Orlando Pirates, whatever issues they do have with Mhango, they have to put them to bed and look to get Mhango back into the lineup, because this is such a quality striker, and Orlando Pirates are dearly missing goals up front. So they keep the ball very well. However, they struggle then to penetrate and finish off those chances within the final third. So chances are being created, but at times it's not penetrative and they're not scoring goals. They're not finishing off those chances and they're not winning the games. which then doesn't bode well for this Orlando Pirates side, which I think from a qualitative perspective tick numerous boxes, because I think then they have so many quality players within their side. Yes, even though you've got players who are out injured, but there's still quality within this 11. And when you then have a look at it then up front, if Mahango doesn't start, you'll most likely have Pepra, but not too impressed then with Pepra. Yes, I do know that it's still early stages. I just think that he isn't an out-and-out striker. He fits the mold more of a second striker when I have a look at how he likes to play, and I just think Orlando Pirates need a presence within the box, you know. And when you have a look at then that Mabasa, if he's fully fit, he should come back. If not, I think start the young man, Radiopane. He is a goal scorer. Orlando Pirates are in need of a goal scorer. And at the end of the day, irrespective of the fact that, yes, he did it in MDC, the levels might not be the same. But at the end of the day, if you know how to score goals, you know how to score goals. Give him a run from the very beginning, and you don't know what might happen. And yeah, so very interesting coming up into this encounter. And how I think it plays out is that Orlando Pirates will enjoy the lion's share of possession. They will keep the ball. And I just think that they will struggle to penetrate and break down this Stellenbosch side. And when you have a look at Stellenbosch, then I think they'll be looking to be compact, and they will be looking to be very disciplined whenever out of possession. And what I then think that I think that this will bode very well for this Stellenbosch side, especially considering the speed they have up front with Dstv, Du Preez and Mandieta. I think this game then plays very well into the hands of Stellenbosch, as I think Stellenbosch will win 1-0 by virtue of a counter-attack. So, ladies and gentlemen, do let me know at home, what do you make of this encounter? What do you make of Orlando Pirates as they've been struggling? So they keep the ball well, but they're just not scoring those chances. It's not penetrative enough at times. And yeah, it looks very dull, because it just looks like it's just a passing exercise where they shift the ball from side to side, but they're not scoring those goals. With Stellenbosch then, they are one of the informed teams within the country. They haven't lost a game yet, and they've been doing very, very well. And yeah, Du Preez, a man in form and doing very well. So do let me know at home who wins this game. I think it's Stellenbosch 1-0. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Luyolo. Signing out.